What's happening?
Dana, so with all the injuries, everything that happened with this card, did you wonder if it was going to happen at any time?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. That's like I said before. This is what we do. The day it can't happen, we're in big trouble.
You were excited, man, even for you today. This was a big one.
I'm excited. I'm serious. I've been waiting to come to Calgary for a long time, and like I said, the negativity about this card is from ticket scalpers. I mean, if you know anything about fights, not only these fights good fights, they mean something. These fights are very important. The two guys fighting in the main event are fighting for the title to see who fights Dominic Cruz for the undisputed champion. And in Bosch, this guy beats Yushin Okami, who is one of the best 185 pounders in the world for a long time now, and this is his lottery ticket. And Hector Lombard, 25 fights unbeaten. The guy has knockout power in both hands, keeps moving forward, and this is an important fight. The 185-pound division. I'm so pumped about the 185-pound division too. I mean, it's all I've been talking about for 4 days.
Is Lombard still in the driver's seat there, like you said, or was? I mean, I know you said you're gonna tease us on Saturday. You'll answer Saturday, but is Lombard still the guy in the driver's seat, or did Weidman do enough to step up?
I mean, the whole landscape changes in one fight. It's not only beating Munoz, the way he beat Munoz. It was unbelievable. And people are already saying, "Oh, this is the guy to beat Anderson Silva. This is the guy to this." But we got a pretty good plan for some exciting fights and some interesting stuff in the 85-pound division. I've never been so excited about the division ever.
Have those talks involved Anderson at all? Have you gotten to that point yet? Have you?
Not yet. No, not yet. We got to see how things shake out a little bit, and we'll see. I'll give you guys. We'll see what happens on Saturday, and then I'll talk to you guys.
Dana, why Calgary when there's so many places that want you? Why here?
Why here? Well, it's been a long time coming, man. I mean, this is a great sports town, and anytime I can come to Canada, I know I say this, I sound like a broken record. I love coming here. I love this place, and this is my first time in Calgary. I'm a little pissed. I thought that the Stampede was this week. Yeah, I thought it was this week. I didn't know it was last week. I was lied to last time I was here. Tom Wright lied to me. But I was bummed out. I was all pumped up for that, and it was last week, so I missed it, but whatever. You asked me about John Jones.
John Jones in the mix at all?
No, not right now. These guys both have business. He's got Dan Henderson that he seriously needs to worry and focus on. And then Anderson's going to have to fight one of these top contenders, and they're both saying they won't fight each other right now and all that stuff. So
what do you think about that? The fact that they say they don't want to fight each other and there's too much to protect.
Said he wouldn't fight Chael Sonnen either. And then the other one said he wouldn't fight Rashad.
Dana, with this card, were you? It's a good card and that, but at some point, were you and Joe Silva going, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh yeah. I mean, not just on this card, for the whole year. I mean, it's just the injury level has been insane. It's just one of the things we got to deal with. When it first started happening, we went on a streak for what? I don't know, 9 years when that didn't happen, right? And then all of a sudden, when it used to happen, it was devastating. I mean, we were devastated, but now it's just part of the deal. We're used to it.
Just the way guys are training is just a straight of bad luck?
Well, what I think is that, back in the day, you'd have a gym where there was one guy who was the best in the world, and he was training with all these guys that weren't that good. These camps now, I mean, these camps are filled with the pound-for-pound best in the world, the top 10 best in the world, and when you're training with guys that are that good, people are going to get hurt.
Okay, for the people that are going to be going to their first live show, difference between live show and watching it at the bar?
It's night and day. First of all, if you've seen the UFC on television, it's good, it's fun to watch on TV. No comparison to watching it live. I think that we have the best live event in sports, and the contrast between what you see on television and what you see live, like I said, is night and day.
Dan, any update at all on Dominic? I know you said you're not sure when he would return, but have you had any discussion on how things went?
His progression's great. I mean, it's going well, but you never know with those type of injuries. Some guys heal faster than others, and it depends on that he's rehabbing, that he's right with the right rehab people. The list goes on and on.
What can you say about all these Canadian fans and their knowledge of the sport?
Canada has been a mecca for mixed martial arts for a long time. I love coming up here. This country, I say again, I always sound like I'm kissing ass up here, but I love this place. I love Canada. And finally, I'm up here when the weather's good, too. You guys have some of the coolest cities in the world, nicest hotels, restaurants, shopping. I mean, it's a great, great country. I love coming up here.
Speaking of Canada, you at the last press conference, you kind of took a little shot at Vancouver that real MMA fans don't riot. Are you guys looking to come back to Vancouver?
Yeah, I wasn't taking a shot at Vancouver. I was saying, when we go up there, we have to buy all this extra insurance and all this crazy shit. A hockey game happens and they burn the city down. Nothing bad happens when there's a UFC event in town. But they still stick that stigma on us,
So is Vancouver something you want to do next year?
Yeah,
Because they have a provincial body.
Of course, we want to go back to Vancouver. We would love to, yeah. But it looks like we're going to be hitting Seattle a few times before we go back to Vancouver.
You mentioned the 148 pay-per-views a lot. The number that was kind of floated out there was $1 million. I know obviously you guys don't release accurate.
I wanted $1 million. I was looking for. I honestly and truly believe we're going to do $1.3 million. It's the first time I've ever been disappointed with an awesome number. So,
how sure were you?
I really thought we were going to do it. I really believed it, and everything trending that night when I talked to you guys, it was all trending to do that.
Was $1 million the right number? I mean, is that about where it was?
It didn't suck. We had a great number.
What happened to the fight card in Indianapolis? How did you guys move that off?
Because we just had to change the date. We had to move the date, and then the venue wasn't available for the date we needed to move. We moved it to October, and the venue wasn't available again. So it sucked. I wanted to go to Indy, but the venue wasn't available.
What was the reason for the move? Was it TV?
We just had to do it. Yeah, we had to move the date.
Dana, you mentioned Seattle. What's your target for there?
This year. I know we're going to Seattle this year. I can't remember the date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dana, you talked about...
She's been waiting for a minute.
Okay, no worries.
How do you explain the success of Taekwondo in MMA? Is it a good investment for UFC?
The success of H.E.A.T He's a huge monster, and he hits hard.
And is it a good investment for you to have this champion in your team, in UFC team?
Sure, of course it is. He's been with the UFC for a long time. He's an exciting fighter. Yeah.
So it's a good investment.
It's a good thing. It's a great thing.
And how do you explain that it's not yet in France? We are French TV and it's not yet in France. How do you explain that?
How do I explain that?
We don't have MMA in France.
Oh, in France, yeah. Well, as we continue to grow around the world, there's some places that are harder than others, and France has been a tough place to get into, but we're working hard on it. We've been working there for a while, and we're very close. And we're on television there. We pull killer ratings. There's tons of fans, so it's a matter of when. We will get it done.
And why is it so hard in France?
What is what?
Why is it so hard to get in France?
Well, it's not that it's so hard, but some places are harder than others. We're still not in New York here either in the United States. It took us a while for Toronto. We're still having problems over in Vancouver. It's just, sometimes it happens. It's part of the deal.
But MMA has so much fans. How do you explain the success of this sport here? And
how do I explain what?
That you have so much fans.
How many fans? Because this is the most exciting sport in the world, with the greatest athletes in the world.
So you think that if you came to France, you would have so many French fans also?
Everywhere we go, when we put on a live event, it explodes there. And not only in more fans, but more people training, more athletes getting involved in mixed martial arts. Once we put on an event in France, there will be an explosion for MMA there.
Dana, sorry, one more thing about Seattle. Is pay-per-view or fight night?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I don't know, no. I'm sorry, babe.
Oh, no worries. My question, kind of following up on that, you're talking a lot about India and going there. How come we haven't yet seen an Indian fighter then in the UFC? Are there people that you're scouting that you want to kind of warm us up with?
There are people that we're scouting, and very few Chinese that you've seen too.
Right.
But what we're doing is, in growing the sport, is we're going in and cultivating these markets, introducing them to mixed martial arts, and it was the same thing we did in the UK. When I first went to the UK in 2002, there were a couple guys, that was it. And now look at the UK. We're going out, we're cultivating these markets.
And certainly I would think that the lighter weight classes afford you that possibility of getting...
That's why I said we would bring in, if anything, we bring in a lighter weight class. Because as you go into India, you go into China, all throughout Asia, and even Mexico, you're gonna find, in Latin America, you're gonna find smaller guys.
And have you secured Kung Lee for the card in Macau?
It's funny you say that, because I was talking to Joe yesterday, and he's like, Kung Lee, and I said, let Kung Lee heal a few more days and we'll call him on Monday.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have anything broken or any real severe damage. What he has is bone bruising, which the doctor actually put a cast on his leg, like one of those walking casts. Yeah. So I'm very confident that Kung Lee is going to be in China.
What do you like for him there? Do you like? A lot of people say maybe rebook the Franklin fight, or what do you like? Do you have any interest in that?
If he fights in China, he will fight Rich Franklin.
What do you have to say moving over to Strikeforce here? Because there's been some things said by Meltzer, and a lot of people are wondering why the UFC hasn't been promoting Strikeforce.
So I might have got some misinformation on it. People are always texting me going, is this true? Is that true? What I understood that Meltzer said was that even after the deal was done with Strikeforce, we couldn't bring the fighters into the UFC. We'd have to send, they could sign with other companies, but not us. Is that what Meltzer said?
From what I understand,
No.
what he said was that there was a list of protected guys in Strikeforce.
Not true.
Even if they become free agents, while there's still a deal between Strikeforce and Showtime, but they cannot go over. So for
Yeah,
example, if we
okay.
brought both the free agents-
So when I said Meltzer's out of his mind, he's this and that, it wasn't. They didn't tell me exactly what he said. They were wrong in what he said. The reality is, and I've said this a million times, there's not a list of protected fighters, Rousey and this one and that one. The entire Strikeforce roster are Strikeforce fighters. Yeah.
What he said though was, let's say Rockhold becomes a free agent, while Zuffa still owns,
He'd have to re-sign.
he can't go.
Right, he'd have to re-sign with Strikeforce, or go somewhere else.
Does
That is
Showtime
true.
allow that? Do you believe Showtime? I mean, what they're saying is that Showtime wouldn't allow that, right? It's an exclusive thing that as long as they're doing MMA, they would not be able to come over to the UFC.
Correct.
So that's correct.
That's true.
What is the length of this Showtime deal? Is it a quarter of a year?
I don't know how long it's left. We got like a year and a half left on that deal. Something like that. A year and a half, I think.
So would you see perhaps in a year and a half down the road, maybe that could be possibly time deep enough in terms of women's MMA coming to the UFC?
Again, Ronda Rousey. I mean, Ronda Rousey, H.E.A.T. You have a couple of girls out there, and there's probably more. I'm not as well versed on women's MMA as I am on, but until there's enough talent to create an entire division, you just have one-off fights.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Would you consider doing an all-female season of The Ultimate Fighter?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
Bachelorette?
Anything is possible, but it's not even anything that's even crossed my mind. Not even close.
And tell me a bit about Hector. I mean, he seems like a pretty serious guy, but he's always joking around with the fans and signing autographs.
Yeah. I mean, that's how all our guys are. But yeah, Hector Lombard is a guy, like I said before, he's on a 25-fight win streak. This guy's got power in both hands. All he does is move forward. It's going to be interesting to see, again, his first fight ever in the UFC. And the UFC jitters, they're real. It really does happen to people. And he's the co-main event of this card. So it's going to be interesting to see. This guy comes out and wins by devastating knockout. Or if Bosch weathers his storm and pulls off another win like he did against Yushin Okami. It's fun, man. This is the stuff that I live for. It's exciting. This 185-pound division is getting really fun.
So there's no way that you were asked in the press conference this, but he came out and said, listen, if I had a shot at Anderson Silva, I'd want Mark Munoz first. And this was after he knew Munoz's loss. That's surprising to you?
If he wins on Saturday, he will not be fighting Mark Munoz. That's a fact.
I think Mark Munoz called him fighting tomato cans, and he was essentially recycling for the last 10 years.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Got it. Yeah, all right, that explains it.
But still.
Yeah.
But still.
They can settle that one later.
There was a report that you guys had signed Sergey Kharitonov. Is there any?
I saw that on Twitter yesterday. I have no idea. I've been in Australia. Could have happened. Not that I'm aware of.
How about, there's another rumor out there that Tim Sylvia, although not coming to the UFC, may be going to Strikeforce. I know that's not your deal, but do you have knowledge of that?
It's not true either.
It's not true?
No.
Do you have any idea who that one-off fight might be for Cormier?
I don't know yet. We're working on it though.
Do you know if you're going to be close to building a tennis record, building gate record on Saturday night?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we are sold out, but I don't know.
I heard the number that's been kicking around is full $1 million gate or somewhere thereabouts. And I can't think of anything else that would have been close to that in the building.
Cool. I hope so, because I like doing that. I like breaking records. That's what it's all about for me now. That's why I'm so bummed out. It's like everybody keeps talking about the pay-per-view numbers we did. They're great, but listen, we're a business. We're going to make money. Whatever. I like breaking records. That's what I'm into now. It's about breaking records for me. I want to keep tick, tick, tick.
Hey, Dana, Junior Dos Santos Cain Velasquez was a fight that was supposed to happen in Canada, and then I guess it got moved. Do you have any update on what happened?
Say that to me again.
Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez was going to happen, not here, but in Toronto.
Right.
Not happening on that card anymore.
Yeah, there was an injury. There was an injury that's not being talked about. I can't remember what the hell happened. I was talking to Junior was with me in Australia.
Right.
And I don't know.
Injury to Junior?
Somebody. One of them had an injury and just. Yeah, one of them wasn't ready for the fight.
So you said you want to break records, and Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva obviously got you excited. What potentially is the next matchup that's going to break a record?
Well, just talking about this again yesterday, over the next several months, once we get through this summer, over the next several months leading up to the end of the year, we got big fights. We're working on so much crazy shit right now. You know how I get all nutty and start telling you guys shit I'm not supposed to tell you, and I know you love to do that to me. But I'm not going to let you today. We're working on really, really exciting stuff that we're going to end the year. We're going to kill it at the end of this year. Some really fun stuff.
You talked about Dallas, looking at something, getting in there. Speaking of big, is that one of the?
I don't. You got to have the right fight. You got to have the right fight to go to Dallas, and it's even still tough. I mean, boxing does the same thing. When you have such a big fight, let's say we're doing. Let's say we're doing some massive big fight that people all over the world want to see, like last weekend. Right. Okay. We'll use that as an example. Okay. I mean, when you start looking at what you could do in Brazil, in a soccer stadium, you look at Dallas, Texas Stadium. You can't count out Vegas. All the big fights are in Vegas for a reason. You know what I mean? And then you couldn't count out Toronto either. So it's tough when you sit down and you start looking at big fights. There's so many places that you could do it.
You were just specifically a little while back, I think, actually mentioned Dallas or maybe Toronto. At some point you felt you had, if things shaped up, that it was something that was looking realistic.
Right. We've got a few things. We got a lot of good stuff coming up, man. I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. Launching Australia's Ultimate Fighter. We just did that huge deal down there with Foxtel. It's just we've got a lot of good stuff going on. Now it's just Australia. Yep. Now it's just flying and hitting all these places and doing all the shit that I got to do over the next few months.
Chael's been teasing maybe going up to 205 as a kind of a next career path for him. What do you like that idea at all?
I haven't talked to Chael since the fight. I've been running all over the place, but I think Chael has a lot of cool options right now.
Would you ever rule out a third fight between them? A lot of people are saying that people would still probably tune in with kind of the controversy and the way it went down.
I never say never. I mean, anything's possible, but he beat him twice. It's tough to do a rubber match when the guy is 2-0 on you,
So it's not a situation where you'd step in like Rich Frank, like you did with Rich, and say, hey, maybe 205 since you're not getting a title shot anytime soon.
No, I don't know. I got to talk to him. He's got a lot of options. Let me tell you what, Fox loves this guy. He's going to end up with a television deal.
You think he's still got fights left in him, though?
I do. Hell yeah. He's the only one ever to challenge Anderson Silva.
What's the latest update on St. Pierre? He's going to fight in November. I mean, is he 100% healthy at this point? Or
St. Pierre?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's training. He's training, and as far as I know, everything's good. Haven't heard anything negative out of that camp at all. Just all positive.
And the Montreal card is the date that you're hoping for?
Yeah. Who's he going to fight?
He's fighting Condit.
Okay.
The guy with the belt.
Does the Bisping Stan fight coming up factor into your 185 plan right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, Bisping, Bisping and Stan. Yep.
Could you see like a Vitor Weidman in Brazil?
I'll let you guys know on Saturday.
It's Saturday.
You guys are trying to wear me down.
We'll give it up eventually.
Yeah, because I'll slip and say something stupid. Anything else? I feel great. Yeah, I feel like $1 million. No, I didn't do the operation yet, but I feel good. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Is that still the plan to get the operation? I know it's something.
Yeah, the thing hit me a few weeks ago. But other than that, I've been great. It's been good. Just something I'm gonna have to deal with. It is what it is, huh? Yeah. It's like vertigo on steroids, man. It's brutal. Yeah. But I'm ignoring it. I don't care. We got so much good stuff going on. I've been good. I don't got time for that shit. Exactly. We good? Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Autograph, Dan?
Yeah.